All that bootlicking and pandering, and the Woman King couldn't get an Oscar nomination. Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today. Viola Davis's film, The Woman King, was shut out of the Oscars. And with The Woman King not receiving a single nomination for an Academy Award, Viola Davis and the director of The Woman King were extremely upset, and Woman King director Gina Blythewood took to The Hollywood Reporter to write an op-ed piece making allegations of racism and saying that this award season was an eye-opener. Now, I believe what made this award season for Gina Blythewood an eye-opener was the fact that she could not go out here and use a film like The Woman King to fulfill a covert contract with White Hollywood, where she would go out here and get a easy road to an Oscar nomination and an easy road to becoming a part of Hollywood's elite. Because oftentimes, many black people in Hollywood, like a Gina Blythewood and other blacks, what they do is go out here and make films like The Woman King, and they make these films as a gateway to trying to get a covert contract between themselves and White Hollywood, and hope that making this film that degrades the black male and black female image will allow them a fast track to becoming a part of Hollywood's elite by being nominated for an Academy Award. Unfortunately, what's happened is that it looks like White Hollywood has decided to rescind this unwritten deal between black screenwriters, black directors, black producers and filmmakers, and black actors, and many, like Viola Davis and Gina Blythewood, are extremely pissed. Because many of these individuals, they have compromised the image of black people with films like The Woman King, and as they have compromised the image of black people, they hope to open doors in Hollywood, but it looks like all of those doors are officially closed. Now, this biracial black woman, Gina Blythewood, she's extremely upset that she can't get her Oscar nomination, because what an Oscar nomination to her means is a gateway to getting bigger budget projects with many of the white film producers. And it looks like she made The Woman King basically as part of a crap test, because she was told by one of these Hollywood executives that they wanted a black female director who won a Best Director Oscar to produce a project for them. And as she was looking to bootlick her way into a new job, she and Viola Davis came together to produce the film The Woman King, a film that basically degrades the black female image by associating a black woman with masculine traits and emasculates black men. They were basically making this film that degrades both the black male and black female image in the hopes of trying to get themselves a job directing or starring in a film that white producers wanted to make. Unfortunately, your biracial Gina Blythewood doesn't understand the subtle politics of white supremacy, and she doesn't understand the crap test that white supremacists play. And what they were doing was telling her that they wanted a black woman who won Best Director to do their project as a way to get her out of their hair. What they know is that there hasn't been a black woman who has won Best Director, so there was no job. And even if she had gone out here and made an extremely great film, and not the mediocre one that The Woman King was, the white supremacists, after she won the Oscar, would basically go out here and move the goalpost the same way that they did with Halle Berry back in 2002 when she was the first black woman to go out here and win Best Actress for portraying Letitia Musgrove in the film Monsters Ball, where she basically did a sex scene with Billy Bob Thornton in an effort to show all of those white supremacists in Hollywood that she was willing to get down with them. But even after she went out here and degraded herself with these white Billy Bob Thornton, these white studio executives didn't open any doors for Halle Berry, which is what she thought was going to happen when she made that speech talking about, this award was going to open doors. Not a single door has been opened in over 20 years for Halle Berry. And it looks like the crack in the door that was opened by a lot of black folks buck dancing, shuffling, and jiving by degrading their image, portraying slaves in multiple slave films, and going out here and playing these historical figures who suffer as they stand up in a dignified fashion. It looks like that door is starting to close, and what's happening is that films like The Woman King and films like Will Smith's Emancipation, are no longer going to be the gateway to an easy Oscar, and the unwritten social policy of black actors going out here and degrading themselves to go out here and get themselves an easy Oscar. That door is basically closing at this point. And what's happening is that many of these black bootlicks, like Gina Prince Blythewood, these people are extremely pissed because they can no longer go out here and fast track white validation and white approval by degrading themselves in Hollywood movies. They can't go out here and try to go out here and call themselves playing slaves, go out here playing historical figures, and compromising the dignity and integrity of black men and black women anymore. And that's the thing that's an eye-opener to Gina Prince Blythewood, who basically has gotten her N-word moment, and she's gotten the N-word moment because these white supremacists in Hollywood are basically closing ranks and showing her that they have no respect for a black bootlick at all. It's like Professor Black Truth always says in his classic videos that bootlick is a job without a retirement plan, and it looks like Gina Prince Blythewood is going to have to try to find another way to make a living in her old age, because all of her bootlicking and pandering isn't going to get her a gateway to an easy Oscar and a gateway to a higher pay grade as a director. No, that's not going to happen anymore, and it's not going to happen because those in white Hollywood, while they talk diversity and talk inclusion, are still practicing anti-black racism, and their way of practicing anti-black racism isn't just to degrade the black male and black female image, it is to deny black people opportunities to be able to work behind the camera and opportunities to go out here and get good projects greenlit. And what's happening is that Gina Prince Blythewood is finding out the hard way that many of these whites in Hollywood, they really don't want to give black women power behind the camera the same way they don't want to give black men power behind the camera, because a black person having power behind the camera means black people can control our image, and when we control our image, we get a completely different story than the anti-black images that self-hating bootlicks like Gina Prince Blythewood, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and many others go out here and produce. No, when we have black people who love black people producing films like Spike Lee, like Bill Cosby, and many others producing films, we get a completely different image and we get a completely different story than the stories we have been getting for the last 20 years. And after 20 years of slave movies and 20 years of other types of movies that degrade the black image, it looks like these bootlicks, they're all upset because they went out here and poured all of their money into The Woman King. Again, a film that degrades the black female image by masculinizing the black woman and degrading her image, and it also effeminizes and emasculates the black man. And that film, basically, this film being shut out, is a big slap into the face of these bootlicks who poured all of their money into this film while disrespecting the black audience. Because as Gina Prince Blythewood directed this movie, Viola Davis helped finance it, and Viola Davis and her husband went out here shaming black people, telling them that there was something wrong with them for going out, not going to The Woman King. No, there was nothing wrong with us, brothers and sisters. No, we're just tired of seeing our black image degraded and disrespected by those in Hollywood who have gotten an opportunity to craft pictures in our image, but not looking to respect our image, respect our culture, respect us as a people. No, we're not getting that at all from people like Viola Davis. No, they expressed contempt for us, and now the white supremacists are showing their contempt for them, giving them this N-word moment. And as they give them this N-word moment, all I could do is laugh, because they looked to disrespect us as a people. And again, here were people who had the resources to go out here and go beyond the surface as related to the image of black people and give people the richer, more diverse image of black people I give in many of my stories on the SJS Direct imprint. I mean, if I can go out here and write about black goths in books like the Spinsterella trilogy, I can go out here and write about two black-owned businesses having a business deal in a book like The Recipe for Success, or write about a supernatural story like The Temptation of John Haynes, or write about a black sorority like the Thetas, then why can't these Hollywood types go out here and make these kind of films? Critical question I would like to ask Gina Prince Blythewood or Viola Davis, who had the money to make A Woman King, but possibly would never go out here and make a movie like an All About Marilyn, all about the struggles of black actresses in Hollywood, or make a fantasy like an Isis or a Temptation of John Haynes. I mean, here I am writing all of these different kinds of stories that show you a richer picture of the black experience, but most of these blacks in Hollywood, all they want to do is walk away from the very black community that went out here and elevated these black filmmakers back in the late 1980s. I mean, I remember when people like myself and many others were out here, we were the ones who elevated many directors like Spike Lee and Bill Duke and the Hudlin brothers, and we also made stars out of people like Viola Davis and Halle Berry and Denzel Washington and many others. But instead of being rewarded with more richer, more diverse films, what we get is nothing but disrespect directed towards us, as many of those who are in Hollywood went out here and got lost spiritually, I believe, and now are just caught up in looking to chase the Hollywood idol. And as they're looking to chase the Hollywood idol, they are out here looking to get that gold statue, and all they're thinking about is getting their Oscar, because they don't see black, not understanding the white supremacist in the media arm of white supremacy. All they see is black. And when they see black people looking at other black people in a positive way, they fear losing control over black people. And that's why they want to have black bootlicks like Gina Prince Blythewood in place, because they want black people looking at white people as their gods, and they want black people out here degrading their own image so that they won't look at themselves and see themselves as valuable. And that's why this Oscar shutout, again, is just making me smile, because this Oscar shutout shows me that the covert contract between those black bootlicks and Hollywood and white Hollywood is basically over. And the eye-opener for directors like Gina Prince Blythewood is now they're going to have to go out here and make films for that black audience. They threw a middle finger up at, and you're not going to be able to come at us with the hood movies. You're not going to be able to come to us with the Tyler Perry garbage. No, you're going to have to step up your game as a filmmaker. You're going to have to step up your game as related to writing stories to my level. And you're going to have to step up your game and your standards and go out here and learn how to perform and tell great stories. No, you're going to have to step up your game because you can't go to these white supremacists and pander to them anymore with these easy Oscar bait films. No, you're going to have to step up your game as related to telling great stories, and you're going to have to bring your A game as related to great storytelling. That's what people like Gina Prince Blythewood and Viola Davis are gonna have to do. And if that's the thing that is an eye-opener to them, then maybe we can get some good films. But I believe what's the eye-opener really is for them is that once with this covert contract basically over, many of these bootlicks are scrambling, hoping, looking for some way to get in with these white folks. Now that the door that was cracked open was closed, now many of these bootlicking actors and actresses and directors and screenwriters, they know that their days are numbered because the media arm of white supremacy no longer needs any more minstrels. No, they don't want any more minstrels because they've already met their quota, and now that they've met their quota as related to so-called diversity, they're not interested in taking any more of these easy Oscar films, and that's the thing that upsets Gina Prince Blythewood and all of the bootlicks out there and others out there like Will Smith, hoping to spend their money, because Will Smith also, he spent his money on emancipation, hoping to get another easy Oscar. And again, all of these bootlicks are learning the hard way that they can no longer shine shoes, hoping to get themselves an easy Oscar by sacrificing their dignity at the altar of Hollywood. Now, if you want to pick up my screenplay all about Marilyn and learn all about the struggles of black actresses in Hollywood, you can find that book on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want to pick up some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, featuring a larger diversity of black culture and the black experience than you would get in Hollywood, then you can pick up many of my books, like the Spinsterella trilogy, which follows a black goth, the All About Nikki book, which follows a black girl's life in Beverly Hills, The Thetas, which is about black girls in a sorority, A Recipe for Success, which was about a business deal between two black-owned businesses, The Temptation of John Haynes, a supernatural fantasy story just like Ghostbusters, the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, and the John Haynes series. You can find all of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find many of these titles in digital format at other online booksellers and in paperback at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to see me make more videos about Hollywood and taking them to the barbecue, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes, Godbreaker at online booksellers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, a darker shade of black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller.